welcome to the Harder Working Money Podcast. My name is Brian O'Neill. I'm going to be the host of this thing. So I just want to do a quick first episode and introduce myself and talk a bit about what this podcast is going to be all about. So first, who the hell am I? I'm a business owner who's worked very hard, long, stressful hours to create several companies, keep them alive, grow them, and make them successful. I reinvested my paychecks, delayed gratification, missed out on fun events, and sacrificed to now have a successful source of good income. So as business owners and professionals, we make good money, but we work really hard for it. And honestly, I was getting a bit burnt out and tired. It wasn't sustainable. Now that I have a family, kids, obligations, and less energy compared to when I was in my 20s. So I decided I wanted to learn how I could maximize and amplify the money I was making so it worked harder for me instead of me working hard for it. And that's what this podcast is all about. What are the strategies and methods that wealthy people used to make the money they're earning work harder for them? So my backstory is I grew up in Northern California above Sacramento, got a degree in construction management from Cal Poly because I just honestly loved to build and create things. So I started in the production home building industry, but shortly after that, I started my first construction company that focused on specialized electrical contracting and smart homes in ultra luxury estates. I later branched into the restaurant industry and started 2 large full-service restaurants. I spent a total of 16 years running these companies, and they produced north of $30 million in revenue. So I guess you could say I'm a bit of an entrepreneur. I sold those companies recently and had the opportunity and time to reflect my next venture. But I first decided to dive deeper into how I could make my money work harder for me. Because like many of the business owners and the professionals listening, I committed everything to my businesses to make them work and produce the money that they did. But it was honestly a grind. I previously had wealthy clients who seemed to be playing at another level above where my tax advisor, my CPA, my investment advisor, and even most of my peers were playing. So I dove headfirst into every book, every in-person seminar. I joined masterminds and got into as many podcasts as I could find. And what I learned, the people I've met, and the things I continue to learn, I'm going to share on this podcast. We as business owners and professionals make good money, but we work really hard for it, like I said. We don't have a lot of time to strategize our taxes, attend conferences, learn about the best way to invest, and grow the money we are making. I've been lucky enough to have the time to do many of these things, and I want to share them in a distilled manner to other business owners and professionals via this podcast. A lot of what I've learned is from in-person events and masterminds with people operating at 1 or 2 rungs above where I'm at right now. And being in these rooms, I'm learning a ton from them. I'm going to bring as many of these people onto this podcast as possible and have them share with you what they shared with me. I've learned things like how to create a tax strategy to pay nearly 0 income tax legally. I've learned how to have multiple sources of passive income, ones that are tax advantaged, and also ones that are hedges against inflation, all in one. I've learned how to invest directly into energy, oil, gas, and be able to use those investments to reduce my W-2 and active income, and a host of other strategies, methods, and investments that wealthy people are using that I wasn't learning from my tax advisors or CPAs or investment advisors. I've learned that many of the best investments are outside the stock market and what your investment advisor is going to bring you. So, if this interests you and you want to learn more, click the button on this show and follow this podcast. Follow me on social media under Brian_O'Neill_investor and go to hardworkingmoney.com, which is the podcast host site. So I'll be doing 1 to 2 of these podcasts a week. The full video is available on YouTube, and we'll be taking clips and the top takeaways from the podcast and putting them on my social media. So make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I hope you join me on this journey, and I look forward to seeing where this takes us.